Okay, back with Terry here. Yeah, so I accidentally delete the recording. Nice. So I basically know what will happen in Melia's house when we are talking to her mother, and I don't want to spoil too much. I just deleted the recording and well have to re-record it. Yeah, sorry for the inconvenience. Let's go. So back here where we are talking about catching the thief. Thank you, we will visit again later and keep our eyes open if we can help in any way with catching the thief. You kid, let us adult handle that. I'm sure Melia's mother need you more urgently. Indeed, indeed. Although I wouldn't say so. Right. Pleasure talking to you kids. Now be off with you, okay? Okay. Right. There they go. The walks toward their destination resumed shortly after. Leaving the shopping district behind, the little village opened up to more flora and fauna. What was once a dirt road stone flat from years of use now resembled a trail, frail but determined to carve its way through the grass. Of course, such a path was surrounded by vegetation ranging from flower to herbs, and Andrew's attention was soon focused upon the short stems and blooming blossom that dared to greet the day. Here comes the cheesy part. Some hung their heads low, stepped upon by prior feet of eager townsfolk, but most defied giving up despite the broken parts. The young boy stopped on his way to reach down to a particularly misfortunate soul, little stem broken off completely, leaves yellowing from lack of water. Poor thing. Oh, Andres, what you got there? It will be a lie to say he displayed the plan with pride, but the thin smile on his lips was genuine. Not what we are looking for, but my brother said these make good remedies for headaches I brewed if brewed into a tea. I guess this one had its own head trampled on, so oh yeah, poor little thing. Is it still useful? It looks sad. Indeed. I didn't think you noticed a little plant like that. Well, Jan trained me. He does not abandon this. Says even trampled flower was once beautiful. I think his words were bring a girl flower, choose the prettiest one. Bring a girl medication and you oath to pick the one most resilient. Recalling those words, Henry started giggling. Yep, I just remembered something. Something your brother said? No, it's something his brother did. He told me this because he once did the exact opposite. Brought over the saddest looking plant you can imagine and a remedy made from a flower both at the florist. Yep. Imagine bringing the girl you love a pot of ginger. Amazing. Simply amazing. Can you imagine? Yeah, I sure can do imagine. But why? But why? I'm not sure. He said there were adult drinks involved. Ah, your brother was drunk indeed. Seems so. Act as though our small village does not over ale at the tavern. Ale or ale or all. I don't know how to read that. I'm not a native English speaker. Or do they say that? Oh, and by the way, Ren'Py should really have those accessibility options to increase the font size because those are tiny. Mother calls it giggle juice. I think only Mr. Rowan ever told me the truth, and that it's not for us meddling kids. Yeah, I think that's a Scooby-Doo reference. I don't know. Meddling kiddos, meddling kids. I'm inclined to believe him based on Jan's mistake. I need to bring that up one day, when he least expects it. Do not, no. Bad enough that Mr. Rowan is expecting me to ask him for how well his hangover remedy tasted. You adding oil to the fire on top of that? Indeed. He would groan before that. Oh, then I'll definitely do it. At Melia's cheeky smile, Andres could only shake his head in exploration. With her mind set on a straight and narrow path, there was no stopping Melia. No matter whether such a sentence could be taken figuratively or literally, their path indeed was a narrow one, and Melia truly remained a straightforward person. So it was no wonder that the young boy would refrain himself from furthering Melia's cause for adventure at the cost of his own freedom. Melia will grow to a fine person, I would say, if we can direct her to the right path. I hope we can. Or from putting more ideas into that stubborn head of hers. Did you know that donkey are in danger right now? Yeah, those animals that the people like to say donkeys, affiliate with stubbornness, they are endangered. I think. Is it only in UK or in the whole world? I don't remember. What do you think, Melia? He was rubbing the back of his head nervously, all while his free hand was softly stroking the wilted flower petals. Hmm? Are you similar to that girl? Flowers. Yeah, your taste in flowers, Melia. He vaguely gestured towards the plant in his grasp. You like them? Sure, I prefer herbs for their usefulness. There's so many different kind of stuff that your parents and aunt prepare. I think it is great how much your family helps the village. Oh, you're right. I can't wait to learn more and more about it all too. Did not think that you would prefer them. I'm surprised. But for some reason that makes me really happy. The plant that had been before been held in between unsteady fingers was now being held onto like a real treasure. So sweet. I guess you are like this plant. Resilient. 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 The blush creeping up Henry's neck was much brighter than the wilted petals, and yet both seems to stand up straighter than a moment prior. You are difficult to bring down, Melia. When bad things happen, you get back up. So confident and tough like this little thing. It may not look like much, but you should never underestimate it. Indeed, the conversation came to a close, leaving behind a warm comfort. There was nothing more that need to be said. And so the journey towards Melia's home continued. Feeling closer to Andrew's understanding of the world, Melia's voice a nagging thought in the back of her mind, born from curiosity. How many plants are there, Andres? Yeah, like a lot. How many? Yes, how many are there in the world? You have whole books about them, so it's at least 100, right? I say there are probably way more than that. Really? Really? Yeah, tons and tons of different herbs and flowers and trees and bushes. Father has come back with new ones from his journeys. He will show them to me and then he dries some of them or cuts them apart. Once he brought home rare seeds. Sorry. They had a funny name, something like Kawaii Chamomile. What is a Kawaii Chamomile, by the way? Chamomile is for tea, right? No, it's usually used as a relaxing stuff. No, not stuff. What do you call it? Addition, relaxing addition. I don't know. Relaxing element in food, but I don't know. What is that? They help against cold, so now we sell them and the whole village profits. That Melia's eyes lit up. Such a direct impact on one well-being was something to aspire to, and she could hear the confidence in every word that her friend spoke. Such deep utmost adoration to a cause was stirring an emotion inside her that a young child such as herself could only describe with a single word. War. War. Poggers. Yeah, if it's now, they will probably say poggers. Eloquent in its simplicity. Eloquent. 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 How do you read that? It tickled a smile out of Henry's until a grin was formed that gave birth to laughter. Not made out of malice, but genuine glee. I mean, well, why would it made out of malice? He's great, right? Indeed. Mm-hmm. But what about you, Henrys? What about me? Do you want to go on adventures like your father once you are grown up? The words were stuck, wrapped tightly around his throat, constricting, akin to a snake. It led to agitated nervousness, forming a coil in his stomach, and he felt concerned as if he was prey to his own dreams. The open world was wondrous, but he wishes worrisome, not due to their nature, but because nature was a place beyond the horizon, away from home. Yes, I wish to discover everything my father hasn't yet. This place is too small to do that, so I will have to leave eventually. Indeed. Oh, but we will surely stay friends. Having to leave you and Jan and mother and father will be hard, but I can write. And there are so many years left for me to teach you reading. The first time Andre say this, I question, but Melia cannot read. And then there's this. So yeah, my question immediately gets answered. Then once we are older, I can send you letters and include whatever new discoveries I have made within. Do you really think I can do that? Learn reading? Of course, you just have to stop being lazy. Maybe. Maybe one day I'll be able to send letters back and talk about all the hard work I'm doing. You still want to become a lumberjack? Indeed. Yep, I'll be stronger than all the men in town. And once you come home, I'll crush you in a bear hug like this. Ah! With that, she enveloped Enris in an embrace as tight as a young girl could give. It was a mixture of the simple things in life and difficult promises. Such a hug smelled of childhood and felt like being young forever. It's his fault for being so comfy. Indeed, Enris looks like a ship sometimes. Melia, I promise you'll come home or I won't let you go. Is that a threat? Yes. No promise to come home. Uh-huh. No. I don't think so. Not unless you say no, then I'll have to hug you even tighter until you can't breathe. Please no. I promise, I promise. So let go, This is so embarrassing. Please, Melia. The blush was all-encompassing, going from his neck to his ear, dusting cheeks and even his nose. What a cruel fate! To be hugged in earnest with no way of freeing yourself. What a cruel fate indeed. Continue to squeeze him. Can do that, must make double sure, Enris. You're too soft and warm. But you're also quick to get out of trouble, and right now I am trouble. Haha. What does that mean? Can I have you wriggle out? You are my best friend, Enris. Mm-hmm. You're also my best friend. Enris stiffened up, small body rigid as a rock. With Melia hugging him tightly, he could only pray for the situation to be over soon, saving him from his predicament. So, Enris, yes, I'll let you go if you pinky promise. Anything. Yay! And just like that, the girl stepped back, her cup-like hug, for she was too young to give bear hugs, a thing of the past. Henry sighed deeply and eagerly presented his right pinky finger to her. Say it. Say the word. With that, Melia booked her own pinky with his. I promise that I will come visit often. I swear it, and I swear I'll read every letter you send me. With that, Melia untangled their fingers. Henry's missed her touch immediately. Nice. As the two of them resumed their walk, both did so with much quicker, joyful steps. Bantering while pointing at different herbs and guessing names was a good way to pass the time. It required focus but not too much of it, and it lent itself well to a game only one could play without stopping. Young berry bushes were a distraction, but a welcome one that, once plucked, only made the journey that much sweeter. The healthy snack was shared with sticky fruit juice covered fingers until every last berry had been consumed. Not much later, the most welcome sight of Melia's home came to vision. A little but close to the village entrance, hidden just behind planks of wood if one were to stare into the community from the outside. Melia could see the forest just behind the border. But what interested her most was the state of her mother and unborn sibling, and so she rushed forward, leaving Henry behind. It took little strength to open the door. Nice door sound. And yet the creaking floorboards signaled her arrival. What greeted her was the clean but cluttered living room she called home, with its trinkets and treasures and wooden interior. One could feel right at home in such place, no matter how small it was, and yet it carried no quiet for the time being. Instead, screams resounded, indeed. Ah! You are doing great, now just push! Push! Mother! Oh, Melia, how good it is to see you! The midwife poked out her head from behind the room divider, looking stressed but otherwise happy. She was a plump woman, middle-aged, with wrinkles born from louder than hardships, and she carried herself with the pride of someone bringing life into the world. Behind her, Melia's mother was trying desperately to fight against the urge to bite into a pillow, so it was only a raised hand that greeted her daughter. Melia. I really love how the mother figure is just this character without any specified. I kind of afraid of that the mother will just be a side character that will soon go away. We were expecting Jan, truthfully. Has he sent you kids to us? He has, yes. Henry's half as he too stepped into Melia's little sanctuary of a home. He's out of his relaxation herb, so we will look for some in the forest. Is she? She's okay. She's not. Not yet, no. The midwife turned to address Melia's mother once more, hidden from view. And now breathe. Good, you are doing perfect. Good, good, just keep breathing. I'll be with you in about a minute. Just breathe steadily for now. Steady, steady. Melia, your mother is alright, but she needs to concentrate a lot now. It will only be distracting to keep you two here for longer than necessary. But I'll make sure to have my son look for the two of you once the baby has been born, should you not be back by then. Your son? Baldwin. He's currently tending to our garden. A good fortnight and lazy lad, they call him, but I known better. That boy just needs a good stern talking to every once in a while. And of course he can't say no to a request by me, haha. Why is that? Well, when a boy says no, the sandal starts flipping. Because I won't allow him to say no. The midwife gave a small wink, then changed topics on a whim. It is heaven gifts that we are neighbors. It is. This brings back memories of your own birth, Melia, you should know. It does. How was I as a baby? A loud belly-aching laugh erupted from the midwife, her plump cheeks stretching with the emotion until she had to hold her sides from the pain of it. A real handful. In fact, I've yet to see a louder baby in my life. My dear Baldwin, he came out nearly sleeping, I'll have you know. Very quiet, but you made up for that tenfold, Melia. But who knows, your sibling might break the record. I'm sure Andres whined much more. I did not. You must have. Careful, young woman, or I'll spill the secret of your lost wooden horse right here. Yes, I will. Better not. No, I'm curious. Some other time. Another quick wink, then the midwife ducked away once more. Her voice, however, was still booming and lively. Go grab your sturdy shoes before you leave, yes, Melia. Mm-hmm. We don't want you to ruin a perfectly fine fair with moss and mud, do we? Melia gulped and scratched the back of her head nervously. Of course. So mother told you about last time, huh? Indeed. Not one to fight a losing battle, Melia rushed up into her room. Look at that room. Nice. The place she found was one of comfort, smelling faintly of lavender and other aromatic herbs. It held all her treasures in it, this live-in, sprightly place. Her room offered an invitation of a relaxed day, but Melia was in a hurry, so she grabbed her shoe-clad foot and racked the footwear of her soul. This finely crafted item was then haphazardly thrown across the room, coming to a rest before her bed. Afterwards, the second one followed, hitting the first one straight on. Old sturdy shoes, old sturdy shoes. There we go. Fiddling with the opening of the much less elaborately decorated pair, Maria quickly put the shoes on, tying a knot afterwards that seemed crooked but did its job just fine. She started back to take in the interior of her room, wondering if it would one day harbor a second bed for her sibling. Then she turned around and returned to the living room floor. I did as you told me to. The sing-song lilt of Melia's voice was joyful, if a bit sarcastic in nature. A chuckle of the midwife was her answer. Good job. Now fly, fly, little birdies, a good child is as quick-witted as a squirrel. I know, that is quick-witted. But I need to talk to mother for a short while first. Let me help with the things you need done. There you go, bye. And wholly ungracefully, Andres followed behind the midwife, giving privacy where it was needed. Melia sighed before stepping behind the room divider to have a chance to look into the eyes of her mother. The woman was beautiful despite the gray in her hair and the sweat clinging to her forehead. She was real and so very alive in the moment of birth, stuck in a time of pain and joy. Can't wait to meet my sibling, mother. Ha! And I can wait for it to meet you too, my dear. Come over to my side, child. Melia did as she was told. The place next to the bedside of her mother was prickling up with energy, and she could feel the intertwining fingers of her mother holding up onto her own hand. It felt a bit clammy, and the grip was just a little too strong. Her mother's nails were chipped from chores, and the skin of her hand was rough and overworked. Such a hand would never dare be called beautiful, and no ring elevated it above poverty. Yet it was the hand of a mother, perfect as it was. Nice. You have grown so much. You were so small. And now look at you. I just know that you'll do great things, my dear. A mother's gaze, full of love, could never be described with words alone. It was warmth and comfort and a safe haven. It lingered as love often does. Mother, you will be the brightest big sister a child could hope to have. Nice. You are already the best daughter a mother could ask for, after all. Holding up their intertwined hands, Melia's mother pressed a soft kiss upon her child's skin. Be a dear and greet Enris for me. That boy is always welcome here with us. So intelligent and humble. He'll be a fine lad one day. I'm glad he's your friend. Make sure to protect each other. Yes? Of course. Good. And come back straight away when you have the herbs. Yes. The forest isn't safe for children. That is a bad flag. Don't go too far inside. She squeezed her daughter's hand once, a heartfelt gesture that turned into an iron grip once the labor pain resumed. No, mother. Mother. Mother! It took but a moment for the white wife to return carrying fresh towel and a bowl of warm water. Anders peeked in from behind her back, a kettle in hand, most definitely the source of the heated water. Is she alright? Quite, but your children need to go now. Let the adult take over. I'll be sure to take good care of her. Your children just worry about finding those pesky herbs, yes. Mm-hmm, we will be successful, I promise. I'll see you later. Mother, we will be right back. Melia, you'll be a great big sister. Eris, leave the kettle there, thank you. And there they go. A last quick squeeze of her mother hand and then Melia and Eris left in haste. Outside it was quieter, neither the hustle and bustle of the village market nor the screams of her mother were filling the atmosphere with vibration as relentless as approaching thunder. Here nature called and it rained with a blue sky and no lightning to be seen. A whole world made up by the plants and animals too small to take note of in everyday life, and every protector and predator and prey alike stood equal in its circle. You sure it's a good thing to unleash children to this place? The ruler was Mother Nature herself, wearing berries as crown gems and a leaf gown, a scepter created from twigs, made up by all the wonders the earth produced. Her was a calm, collected kingdom, at least for the day, where trees stood akin to tower, beckoning from beyond the forest to seek knowledge in its labyrinth. The children followed its call past the village gates. Alright, I think this is the point where I have ended the recording before, and I think it should be more or less 30 minutes. So we already have seen Maria's mother was okay, and right now we are going inside the forest, which I think will probably end bad. So I guess that's all for Colors of Fate episode 3. See you later then in episode 4. Bye bye.